Hey, what's up, guys? Sunny here with Kenroy.
Yeah.
With Yugi.deck, and we're going to be talking about like creativity in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Because we need that shit.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about like different sort of engines that you can play. Basically, like help out the player base in terms of building creative decks.
Yeah, this video is generally to inspire other people to be. You're showing them how difficult it is to.
Yeah, because it's not difficult. It's difficult in terms of like making a really good deck.
Right.
I think it's not too hard making like tier 2. But anyway, obviously you can probably tell that we're like pro creative rather than against it. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on like casual versus competitive play and like creativity in that? Is there even a difference? Like,
no, there's definitely a huge difference, but like I feel like it's kind of lacking and it's kind of pretty much a huge gap. Like one of our boys, like Mike Vu, he makes some pretty cool in competitive decks, and honestly, if he just literally like tweak it a little bit more, if he wanted to, he could actually like apply that to meta based decks. But like there's
all it needs like consistency, but like the power's there.
Yeah. There's just not enough people like that that's in the game. I think it's really lacking, but we only have like,
I guess like the creative players are more casual, and then all the competitive players like, yo, I gotta play the best deck, I'm gonna play the best build. I've seen, Patrick Hoban or Jeff Jones, whatever. Going
on Patrick Hoban, I feel like we only have like 2 or 3 like actual.
I respect them as deck builders.
Right.
The problem is people like they're the only ones that deck build.
They're the only ones that deck build.
And then everyone else are just like, yo, let me net deck this because I want to win. But like you can be creative and win, and then there's a much higher reward that goes along with winning with your own deck essentially.
And also, deck building has a huge advantage over the competition because especially if you go up against archetypes, Konami really have a set criteria for particular archetype.
There's a set like power level with
it's a set power level, but then if you add like some creativity to it, you can either
like Draco Pals. It's not an archetypes combined together. But someone probably in Japan, he was like, hey, let me combine Perform Mages, let me combine Dracos, combine Perform Pals, and he built a tier 0 deck.
Pretty much.
So like I guess you could argue that Konami like released the cards that allowed you to do that, but the power like Perform Pals by themselves are not as powerful.
No, really.
But you build your own deck and like you can essentially build a tier 0 deck. And then talking about like tier 0 formats, if everyone's decks are the same, you can actually go above that. Like pretty much what Kenroy's been saying. Play some certain tech cards or just build a completely different deck. Like the Dragunity Rulers that came out. Right. Like that had some sort of advantage at a time in that tier 0 kind of like everyone's playing the same deck format.
And another part of the advantage is some people don't know how to play against it because they're expecting
the surprise factor.
Patrick Hoban's deck, but
which is what Patrick does. Is he builds a deck the way that he wants everyone else to play it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then he gets an advantage of knowing his own deck.
Yeah, because he built it in and out. Of course, he knows how to beat it. He knows the weaknesses. He knows the strength of it. So also he increases the chance of winning that set tournament, which is very strategic. I think it's kind of scumbagish, but
a little bit.
But it's very strategic. It works.
Yeah, I don't have as much respect for like Hoban as like Jeff Jones. Granted, yes, Jeff Jones is kind of a douche as well, because I know you guys are upset about how he like takes a rogue deck that you guys want to build.
Right.
They make it really expensive, Yeah,
because he has a card shop, so he needs to sell his product. So like, what a good way. And again, very smart, very strategic.
I feel like Jeff he's more of he's a rogue player, and it's not like you can't be like, oh, you can't be creative in this game. Like Jeff has proven that you can, and you can be competitive. So, so I think that's probably some arguments we're missing out, but we can like go straight into like talking about engines, talking about how to actually go about building a creative deck. So, some of these engines probably recognize in like current meta decks, so like the Speedroid engine. Obviously, it's like rank 3 enabler, but it can be way more than that because Speedroids are a synchro deck. So like Red Eye Dice, pretty much like if you open Terratop, you can search Red Eye Dice and you have a synchro between 1 and 6.
Honestly,
which is pretty insane.
Honestly, I believe you'll get more of the engine if you incorporate the synchro aspect of it. I think it'll increase the ceiling of almost any.
Especially with pendulums.
Yeah.
Because if you Xyz with the Pendulum Monsters, they go to grave. It's not as good. But like with this engine, you could also go into like Herald of Arclight. That could support ritual decks. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool. They're like wind monsters. So like going to these cards right here, there's Pendulum Rising. So it's like a generic pendulum support card that you don't see as often. You've seen it like in Draco Pals. But like for example, because the next engine is Magispectors.
Oh yeah.
And this works really well with Speedroids because Speedroids work with wind monsters, and Magispectors are wind monsters, and they have a level 3 searcher.
Yeah.
So like put one and one together, you can like Pendulum Rising a Speedroid monster, summon Raccoon, and search the other scales.
Yeah, was a triangle that I did at one point, but it was like pretty much.
Because it was like Phantom Knights, Speedroids, and Magispector. And I was like, Raccoon is $20? Like, why?
Yeah.
And then you wanted to try some stuff with it too, but you saw like Terratob went up. Like, first it was $5. Now it's $15.
I was playing a deck that I build I know works versus paying money for a deck that may or may not work.
It's a lot of fun. There's like cool stuff you can do with that. So the idea is like you read the cards, pretty much you read the cards and then look at other cards and see if they synergize with each other. Then obviously Performance Pals.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with like Pendulum Rising, because Sorcerer, again, you can special summon. It gets its effect on special summon, not just Pendulum Summon.
And they're fairly generic, and like a lot of them were spellcasters, and a lot of them were like Earth, and a lot of them are Dark, a lot of them are Beast. You could literally do some cool stuff with this engine. Yeah,
for the most part, it's like between scales 2 and 8.
Yeah,
I mean, monkey boards at once. Like, I mean,
obviously, but that's still a good like open broad scale for any deck.
Also, like magicians, obviously, you've seen like Apex Avian. So like any big monster. Also, like I feel like the pendulum mechanic turns any sort of like big monsters that you normally couldn't do anything with. Yeah. And it lets you play those monsters.
Which is really cool. I like that. Yeah. I mean,
I don't like the stun monsters, but like, you can't play spells, you can't, negate one.
Right.
But it's still something different, I guess.
It opens up for like Dark Magician decks and whatnot. Like, that'd be kind of cool. Because, Sorcerer is a spellcaster, probably do something with that. And, it's probably some cool things you could do. And how Joker is a dark spellcaster. It got to be something with that.
And then moving on to like dark monsters, you got the Dark Engine with like Armageddon Knight Zephyros that lets you basically get a free rank 4, especially if you have like Pendulum monsters or like continuous spells.
Yeah, Armageddon Knight is so versatile. It's really good.
Because you could also send Dragon, or any Shaddoll, but like Dragon's versatile because like getting rid of the domain of the monarchs. Get rid of like floodgates and
extra strikes or whatnot.
Summoner Monk, like it helps, but it's
more like high risk, high reward type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's a gamble. I mean, like if it resolves, oh boy.
But it's amazing. It gets any level 4 monster.
Yeah, that's really good.
Really good for deck building, but you gotta like play. You gotta have like a plan B when you play these sort of cards. And Shaddoll Fusion, like it depends the type of decks you're playing against, but Shaddoll Fusion is essentially a Foolish Barrel or like a Future Fusion.
Right. I mean, you can send like a fire, a dark, water, wind. Well, not light anymore, but it's the same concept. It's the same concept as Brilliant Fusion. Where's Brilliant Fusion? Is it on there?
Yeah. Patrick's favorite card.
It's a good card. I love this card, but mainly because I
wish the engines would like. Because like the Gem Knights are all Earth, and they're all they're all Earth and like rocks, so it's really hard to incorporate it. But if you play like normal monsters, you can use Lazuli, or if you need like level 1s. Garnet's decent in like any rank 4 base deck.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if you could do like a cool thing whereby you could probably send Master. Ooh. You could send Master Pendulum, which is a light, and you can send like Lazuli to the graveyard.
Oh, get back. Ooh, that's not bad.
Ooh, already, bro. See, it's not that difficult. You just gotta
that's pretty cool.
That's kind of cool.
Get an extra normal summon. You get a pendulum to your.
You get a free search. Yeah, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
I guess if you draw those, it's bad, but
yeah, I mean, I guess high risk everywhere.
Yeah. What's up, Chase? We're doing a video.
Well, stop making out here without me.
So I guess this will be next.
Yeah. So the next engine was like the zombie engine with Unizombie and Mizuki. So essentially, so Unizombie can send Mizuki, and then you can have a level 4 tuner, and then you can get the tuner back. So it's a pretty cool engine. You could throw it in any level 8 synchro or rank 4 base decks. I was gonna do with Heraldic Beasts.
Yeah.
Because it's a graveyard based deck, and then the Unizombie, you just get Omegas essentially.
It's pretty cool. Recycle back your Banish Beast and you banish Mizuki.
And then the other similar engine is the Lightsworn engine, because Raiden's level 4 tuner. It's a warrior too, so you can rotor for it.
I mean, it's very splashable in graveyard mill based decks, especially zombies and whatnot.
Because you have draw power with recharge, so if you do draw them and you don't want to, you can just use it as draw power. And charge is just broken.
I used it in Phantom Knights before. It works really well.
Yeah, that makes sense. So with Lumina. Yeah.
Or in 3-eyed and 2 Lumina or something.
I've seen people do Lumina and Minerva, so you can still rank 4 or rank 3, and then you can Trish.
Yeah. Pretty good shit.
Yeah. And then Ryan disagrees with us, but I think in these Galaxies is an engine.
Yeah, it could be very, very versatile, especially in rank 8 turbo decks,
right,
or rank 5 turbo decks.
Because what Craig did, he put this in with Kaijus, and actually I think it makes a lot of sense. Because so you play Kaiju Slumber, which is also on here. It's one of the engines. But you play Kaiju Slumber, you get yourself level 8. You summon Wizard, make yourself level 8, make a rank 8. And then you can summon another Kaiju from your hand, because you don't control the Kaiju anymore. So. And then the Hieratic engine, which I've actually just posted. Chase doesn't like them. I like them because they're dragons. But I just posted a video with these guys. I combined this deck. It doesn't make sense, but I combined this with Kaijus and Fluffles.
Hey, if it whoops people's asses, it doesn't need to make sense.
Sometimes. It's just funny. But it's a rank 6 engine, because Beatrice came out kind of recently, and it's basically get a level chain effect. It's actually better to summon it with level 6 monsters, because you can use the effect right away.
It's pretty damn good.
And then depending on what you can play Flammagard, so have a level 7 synchro engine, Galaxy Serpent for 8s, and there's a lot of stuff you can do with that. Because Draco Ascension, it's another combo with Hieratics. You could tribute them and then get this guy right here. Discard a monster, get a Jiaotu, the tuner, and then you could go to Boxia and spin 2 cards and then get something back. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
And these cards are kind of similar, Draco Ascension, Transmodify, Insect Temptation Rising. You tribute a monster and then you get something for it. So. Normally
a monster that would net you a plus.
Yeah, hopefully it's summons on summon.
Yeah, give you some additional advantage or something.
Now talk about magicians a bit, but if you need scales, because they have really good scales between 1 and 8, right?
Yeah.
So if you need to pendulums to Dark Magician or something, you pendulum between those levels, and then this is a decent card. Yeah. But preferably if you run Glow Bulb or just stuff you can discard. And then Quantum Engine, you've seen this in Monarchs. It's really good. E-Telly's at 2 now, so it's not as good. But I like the fact that it just works all together, and
it's pretty versatile. You go in XYZ decks, synchro decks, pendulum decks. It's just pretty versatile.
And then Instant Fusion, because Thousand Eyes of Shriek came back, so there's some cool stuff you can do with this. Because a lot of people don't realize, yes, it sucks up a monster, but then all monsters on the field can't attack.
Right, but you have to be able to do something with it.
Yeah,
so tribute it or
so tribute it, synchro it. Maybe X if you're playing Ghost Drakes, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah,
which I guess could be an engine.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
The Norden's obvious, but this helps out a lot of generic kind of cookie cutter based decks. So. And then Dracos aren't really an engine, and it still works in Draco Pals, but.
Right.
Because a lot of stuff went to 1, so...
Yeah, it used to be extremely splashable on almost any rank 4 base pendulum deck.
Because Face-Off's really good.
Yeah.
And then generic cards, Foolish, 1-for-1, Rhoda, Tenki. It's generic cards that just...
That's pretty much...
Normally they're at 1, for a good reason, kind of. I think 1-for-1 could go to 2. But...
I would describe those cards as like staple based cards that like pretty much put like odd decks together. Like they pretty much like the glue for like many decks.
And then let's see what else. So Chase's favorite card, Assault of the Fire Kings. Oh, Onslaught. That's the one.
No, Salt the Fire Kings. Salt the Fire Kings pretty good.
Salt you back worse.
I actually got some cool stuff. Like Garunix is an obvious target for this. There's like tuners. There's level. I think there's level 1 Fire Beast tuner.
So you can like. There's a lot of cool stuff to do with it.
Fire Fist tuners you can get out of it.
Yeah, there's that too.
Level
4, yeah. So this is like similar to what's a card? This is basically like Italy, yeah.
So it's not quick play. It's a giant burning chicken.
And then like draw powers, like staples again. This engine's pretty cool. So if you're in a deck that like wants to blow itself up, it's like Fire Kings for example, or Yang Zings, because Ryan was doing that. Is he still doing that? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I think you should like deck profile that. But basically, you can Sky Iris. It's like it makes Yang Zings, which is as an archetype, it's a slow deck. But with a little bit of creativity, you can speed it up with something like Sky Iris.
It's very fast. It's pretty powerful.
And then with Allura too now, like makes Odd Eyes a lot better now.
Oh yeah.
And then we're getting what is it? Unicorn, right? Yeah, Propel Odd Eyes Unicorn. Searchable like 2 ways, I guess, but that's like another scale 1, or it's a scale 8 actually. So that's another target you can get for Sky Iris, and it has more utility. It's a better scale. It's a lower level. It's actually a beast,
and it opens up pretty much more targets for Sky Iris. Like if you don't need a 4, you can just play the 8 or the 1 that's going to come out soon as well.
So talking about alerts, like this hat too is the same reason as like Sacred Sword and Trade-In, just for generic decks you can speed it up and whatnot.
Pretty good.
Soul Charge's kind of been forgotten, but in the right deck, this can be like a really huge power play. So.
Especially plants. You open up Lone Fire and Soul Charge. 2 good boys.
The plant's like it's a slow engine without Soul Charge, but it's an engine nonetheless if you put it in the right deck. I was doing a lot of cool stuff with like Speedroid plants, because it's both like synchro based decks. Yeah,
that deck was pretty scary.
Like triple Twin Twister, like 1-for-1. You could like discard Dandelion, Spore, and the tuners and stuff. This is like not a very consistent engine. I know you're trying to like Dracos.
Yeah. I mean, it worked, but it was like Draco Pals was so much better on their own, and I feel like I made the deck kind of worse. So,
also, like part of that engine is like this card. Nable's rank 4 is discard a trap, and hopefully it's like Breakthrough Skill or something that gets an effect in graveyard. You can summon Hanzo, and then Hanzo has a on summon effect, on special summon effect, so you can search another ninja.
Pretty damn good.
So you can like play any deck with dragons or sea serpents or
beasts or winged beasts, insect, whatever.
So this can get like Murmilio, can pop a back row, get
pretty cool shit.
Get the Kaijus, which I guess I went over. I didn't like, but this is an engine in itself. So either like Kaijus themselves as problem solvers, or Interrupted or Kaiju Slumber. It's 3 cards in 1 essentially. So it's really good. And then just mention these. Basically, if you're playing normal deck, you like use this in a ritual.
Like especially that ritual Blue Eyes deck. That's getting some popularity.
And then I guess there's really nothing like generic rank 4s, generic rank 3s like this in Inferno is pretty good. Kenroy's favorite card right here.
Yeah, that card is stupid. Oh my god. I surprised it didn't went to 1.
It should go to 1.
Card is 2 free. That literally is the butter of zombies.
Any banish type decks it'd work in.
It's ridiculous. That's synchros. We have the synchro, I guess.
Well, yeah. And then I guess finally, this is something cool. You can use Zulkin to summon Igniter against Pendulums.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And I guess that's really it.
Stratos literally. He is the king engine enabler. He brought together so many decks, some evil synchro, whatever, the malicious synchro kind of thing. He was a strong staple for that kind of stuff. Yes, we have Shadow Mist, which is a weaker compromise, but yeah, he was just like the perfect like.
Oh, this could work good in speedroids. Anything about that? That's
see, freaking
come back.
Konami be hating. Like, what the hell?
All right, so with Chase, any last words?
Stratus's come back.
All right.
That's confirmed.
Well said. All right.
Let Airman ride.
All right, so Sonny, Kenroy, and I guess Chase signing out.
All right, represent that you get out that.